Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Wake Up American, the daily American English pronunciation show where we help you just get a little bit of pronunciation practice in every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, because that's the key to pronunciation is you have to put in a little bit of time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day at least. If you take a day off, you feel it, and we're trying to help you prevent that as we get into the weekend. To guide you in this journey, I will be your host. My name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath, which is one of the four keys to a natural sound in American English pronunciation, including breath, placement, pitch, and trying to weaken your consonant sounds. And today we have a very important discussion topic because we're going to be focusing on the age old question: how fast should you speak in American English?
Question.
How fast do you need to talk when you speak in American English? It's a great question. I think it's one that's a little bit misunderstood because the reality is it's going to vary, and it's going to vary because of a concept called contrast. If you don't know what contrast is essential in American English. It basically allows your listener to hear different parts of your sentence. We focus on contrast a lot when we talk about pitch. For instance, you do not want to say a sentence like this because if you do, every single word sounds the same. Every syllable is using the same pitch. So we need contrast to make it easier to differentiate your words. So, for instance, you do want to sound like this. So you can hear do want to sound like this. So, pitch is one way that you can immediately add contrast to your speech, but there are others. And one of the ones that can be very fundamental to this is a concept called speed. Basically, we want to use our pace to indicate to our listener contrast as well. And I'm going to show you. So, what this basically means is that when we say sentences, there will be parts of our sentence that we want to say faster, and there will also be parts of our sentence that we want to say slower. And this is going to help our listener immensely in understanding what we say. I've given us an example sentence. Take a moment just to kind of think about how you would say this sentence. Don't even necessarily worry about pitch, don't even necessarily worry about speed. Let's add some context to this as well. So the words themselves are I promise it won't happen and again. And if we want to add some context, we can imagine that this person is adamant. They really want to convince the person they're talking to that they're serious and being genuine. So, one way you could show that is by taking the word promise and dragging it out longer. Like, I promise, I promise. And then what do? Well, we could separate into another thought group and we could go lower in pitch. And then in terms of speed, we could go faster. It won't happen again. It won't happen again. So let's put that all together. I promise it won't happen again. I promise it won't happen again. So by holding the language, by holding that word promise, you're allowing it to stand out more. Your listener hears that. They may or may not believe you, but they're detecting that you're trying to be genuine. Contrast that with I promise it won't happen again. I promise it won't happen again. I promise it won't happen again. You can probably hear the difference in terms of meaning. Lots of people are checking in, which is great. Hello to everybody. Hello to Shok. Thanks for stopping by. Hello to Emmanuel. Hello also to Lorene, if I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And then we also have Romaine. Lorene and Romaine. That's great. I like those names. Okay. Let us look at another example sentence and see what you would do with it. Take a look at this one and ask yourself, how would you say this sentence? Hello also to Bertha. So if I'm trying to use speed to make this sentence sound even more natural and to show contrast, one word that commonly gets slowed down is the word that. especially when that is used as a pronoun, standing in for a larger concept. So I think there's two words here that I could see being slowed down. The first one would be that. So you don't want to pronounce this as if that doesn't work. If that doesn't work. It's very neutral sounding. Nothing's really standing out. Let's add some contrast with speed. If that doesn't work, if that doesn't work, if that doesn't work, if that doesn't work, if that doesn't work. Okay, so you can hear I'm dragging out that, also going a little higher in the pitch, just add some emphasis. And then we get our last part. Try with the hammer. Try with the hammer. Do you notice that the words then try with the are said in about the same amount of time as the word hammer? Then try with the hammer. Then try with the hammer. Then try with the hammer. Okay, so this is one of the things that English lets you do. A lot of other languages, you can't quite do that. You need to, it's a lot more balanced in terms of the syllable length. But in English, because we're stress timed, that means we can squeeze a lot of words into a very small section of time. And that's what we see with then try with the, then try with the, then try with the hammer. This is also where if you're trying to pronounce every single word super clearly, it's just not going to work. Then try with the, your rhythm's going to be completely off, right? Okay. If that doesn't work, then try with the hammer. If that doesn't work, then try with the hammer. Just a quick example there. I have two more examples I want to go with you over with you, but this is all something that we're going to be discussing in our pronunciation group on Telegram. You may not know that we actually have a pronunciation group on Telegram. Basically, what I do is I take our exercises that we do in like stream like this, I put them in the pronunciation group, and then all the members can reply with their own audio. So they can actually get feedback from me and my assistant teacher, Lenora, every single day of the week. This is what it looks like. You can see people's audio files. The green ones are my responses and things. So if you're the kind of person that is trying to actually get feedback, because let's be honest, one of the downsides of the stream is I can't actually hear you. So I don't know if you're doing this right. Well, if you're in the Telegram group, I can actually let you know, yes, this is sounding natural. No, we went too fast. No, we went too slow. No, we need to work on our pitch, our placement, things like that. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in getting help with, we have a couple of spots left. Here is what you need to do to join.
Visit fluentamerican.com for all of our pronunciation services, including memberships, including our daily Telegram program, where you send in files every day and get corrections from us, Mission English, where we meet twice a day in live stream classes, and also our paid video courses so you can start learning right away.
We only have 6 spots left currently in the Telegram group. Okay. And the price has also gone up a little bit. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please grab it soon because the spots do fill up. If now is not the right time for that, cool. You may have seen that we have a free video course called 4-Step American Accent. It's going to walk you through the fundamentals to sound natural in American English, including placement, breath, pitch, and weakening your consonant sounds. So definitely check that out if you're looking for free resources. I have two more examples. See what you would do with this sentence here. How would you say this sentence playing around with speed? Let's give some context. So let's say that the person who's talking is a little bit angry because someone has done something that they didn't want. They're also being a little bit passive aggressive because maybe they know the person who did it, but they don't want to name them, at least not directly. But they actually do know. It's not really a somebody. Okay, so that's a little bit of potential context for this situation. How can we say this playing around with speed? I think there's two words here that I would play around with to lengthen. I would drag out used, and I would also drag out price, somebody in 8. I would do both those words. So to give you an example, we used to have enough. We used to have enough. And in the second half, but then somebody ate them. But then somebody ate them. You can hear how fast the but then what part was. But then somebody ate. And then you can go faster with them. We used to have enough, but then somebody ate them. We used to have enough, but then somebody ate them. And again, that's a kind of a passive aggressive, snarky, uh, not the nicest thing to say. A little bit of attitude there. All right, I have one last example. See how you would say. Final example. Playing around with speed to add contrast. What word would you lengthen? I personally would lengthen the word best. So to give you an example, that was the best trip I've ever been on. That was the best trip I've ever been on. That was the best trip I've ever been on. You could also lengthen trip. That was the best trip I've ever been on. That was the best trip I've ever been on. Notice again, if you just said everything at the same pace, it would be like, that was the best trip I've ever been on. Nothing's really standing out. That was the best trip I've ever been on. Now the best trip can really get some room to breathe. All right, guys. If again you're interested in getting feedback, you want to know if you're actually doing this correctly or in a way that sounds natural. That again is what our pronunciation group on Telegram is for. You can go to fluentamerican.com to join. It's right on the homepage. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. I know this week has been a little bit disrupted just due to different things going on health wise, but I appreciate your patience. Also, we wish you guys a nice, pleasant weekend. We'll be back on Monday with another episode of Wake Up American. Thank you guys for your time. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon.